to be. We used to have, do you remember the days, I call them BCE, before the COVID epidemic, where, I'm taking this off, I think. We on, Max? So, there was a time when Simchat Torah meant marching with Torahs. So I am not going to march with the Torah today. You want to stay there. It's a good spot for you. Okay, wherever. Good idea. I'm not marching with Torahs today for Simchat Torah, even though I enjoy that kind of chaos, because it means marching and expelling a lot of air while we're marching around a room, encircling you with our air. We're not doing that. What we're doing instead, I think, will inspire you in new ways. We may never do this again. We pray we're not going to have to do this again. Last year, we had a Simchat Torah where I was kind of by myself, that Max and I unrolled the whole Torah in the hall. It freaked him out. He was convinced it was going to fall. It's not going to fall. He was convinced it was going to fall. It's not going to fall. It didn't fall, but it was very scary. And it went all the way from that end of the hall, all the way to somewhere around the opening of the doors here. That's how big a Torah scroll is. So one of the things that you're going to get to do today as we celebrate Simchat Torah, which, by the way, doesn't start for our congregation until Monday night and Tuesday. We'll have another service for that on Tuesday. But one of the things you'll get to do is, we have 2 Torah Scrolls that are open so that you can really get up close and personal to a Torah Scroll and see what it's like. The one that's closer to those doors is open to Deuteronomy. You don't even get to see the whole of Deuteronomy. And the one that's closer to here is open to Genesis, because on Simchat Torah, we celebrate the end of the Torah and the beginning of the Torah. And we'll talk more about that when we get there. And we have very, very, very special people who are going to be doing the blessings for that. But we're also in the middle of Sukkot. So the first thing we're doing is a Sukkot Celebration. And you see we have our indoor Sukkah. I don't know if anybody noticed, but right outside that door, I have a picture of the indoor Sukkah from like 1990. There's a picture of it. Did you see it? From like 1990, the sisterhood used to decorate the Sukkah with all kinds of harvest fruit, and then they would take it to the food bank when we were done, and it was magnificent, and so you could see it from the bima. But in those days, when I moved here in the early 1990s, the Sukkah was in front of the ark, and you had to go into the Sukkah to be able to open the ark. When we renovated the sanctuary and the ark doors opened up so that they go all the way out here, we couldn't put a Sukkah in front of the ark, so we put the Sukkah to the side next to the window. And B'nai Zion has a very long history of having an indoor Sukkah, which we use for other purposes. So, for example, today, one of the things we're going to do with the indoor Sukkah is consecration. We have kindergarten students, 4 kindergarten students, who are going to be celebrating their kindergarten year in religious school today. It's a 2-part consecration. On Sunday morning, they'll do another blessing at Igudat Achim, and there will be a time in the service where they'll come in here. But first, Max, I'm going to the Sukkah. But first, I want to show you something very cool that you can do, because especially right now, it's not even Shabbat yet. But I have lulav. I have etrog in the Sukkah. So at some point tonight, I'm hoping that you will shake the lulav, give everybody some space. You could do it inside here or not, and shake the lulav. Has anybody tried the lulav shake program? And if you have, do you know which direction you're supposed to shake it so that you can get the surprise? So you want to shake it right, back, left, up, and down. All of the instructions are in here on a little table, waiting for you to be able to do that so that you can do it. If you haven't yet come and eaten in the Sukkah outside, please do that. We have a sukkah here. There's a sukkah to Gudethachim, whatever is closer. If you want to shake lulav, just let Rabbi Sidney or me know, and we will make sure that there's a lulav ready for you to shake whenever you want to come, lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. So I hope you take advantage of the fact that you can shake a lulav in here. This is almost more like a carnival than it is a service. So I hope you get a chance to take a look at the Torah Scrolls here. I would like to request that when you come to look at the Torah Scrolls, that you not touch them with your hand. So there's a talus if you want, you can point, but you can look at it. This is the end of Deuteronomy, and you can see how far you can go. When you see a big giant gap over here, then you know we're no longer in Deuteronomy. What comes before Deuteronomy? General Electric lights never dim. Numbers, you start numbers. This one, starting from this direction, is Genesis, and we'll be reading from Genesis. Let's see how far we get in Genesis. This is all Genesis, this is all Genesis, this is all Genesis. We're still in Genesis, we'd have to keep unrolling. So I want you to take a tour of the Torah here. I want you to get up close and personal. And I want you to especially look at the end of the Torah that's at Deuteronomy, because it has magical, well, truly mystical letters in it. I want you to find a pei that has a squiggly pei inside it. It's a mystical letter with mystical text in it. And I want you to think about it because B'nai Zion is about to commission the writing of a new scroll. And I want you to notice that at the very end of that scroll, there are letters that are obviously not written by the scribe. And you will be able to write in a scroll or make donations to be able to write in the scroll. And we're very excited about this process, so watch for that. All right, so the first thing we need to do before Shabbat starts is what? Take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Let it go. Try again. It's a little bit stressful to try to get all this together, and it's a very exciting day because we have a lot to do. So the first thing we're going to do as part of our service is please rise as we bless these candles. Oh, before we bless, you'll notice that we have a Yizkor candle lit already. Yizkor doesn't officially start until Monday night. So if you have a tradition about Yizkor and lighting a candle, you may want to do it Monday night before you light the Yom Tov candles. But because we're commemorating Yizkor today, we're also having a memorial candle to remember. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Open your eyes and you see Shabbat candles. Boy, do I need Shabbat. So what happens next? Next is we're going to start a service. I am going to ask Cadence to come up and help me start this service.
Baruch Hu et Adonai.
We're going to do a different melody. You're going to do that one later. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. I'm going to let you sit down for a moment, but you're going to have to stand up again soon, but please be seated. Because now I'd like to call the consecration students, the 4 kindergartners, and I'd like to call Rabbi Sidney and Barbara to come up and help us with our consecration process. You know who you are, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the Sukkah. Come on, come on. Good. You can stand in front or inside. This is good. This way. Come on, Kayla. Come on. Come on, Liza. If you want to say something to them, you can use the microphone. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Can you say, what is hello in Hebrew? Sha. Sha. Can you say it a bit louder? Shalom. Shalom. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom.
Shalom.
We learn that studying Torah is just as important as doing good deeds, because learning Torah teaches us how to do good deeds, and doing good deeds teaches us about Torah. Should I give them their
Yes, please give them Torah.
their Torot? So you now,
Sifrei Torah.
each of you has your very own Torah to learn with, and to learn with your friends, and to learn with your parents too, because you are going to be doing so much learning starting this year and hopefully throughout your entire life. So Yasher Koach Shalom, I am so happy to learn with you this year.
And Ms. Barbara has a certificate to remind you about this very, very, very special day.
First, we're going to sing the Shema together. Are you ready? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Very good. So I have a certificate for Francis Everson, and to Eliza Dodson, and to Caleb Bethany, and to Josue Padin. And this is a consecration certificate that welcomes you to a lifetime of learning and beginning the study of Torah, of B'nai Zion, and Agudath Achim. Mazal Tov.
Mazal Tov. Everybody, we're very happy for you. This is a wonderful time. So would you help us sing Shema again? Everybody, please stand for the Shema. Go.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. No matter how old you are or how young you are, everybody does Shema, and we talk about how important God is and that God is one. I need to ask Arden to please come up and help me with this one. So I'm going to spill the beans here about Arden. Arden turned 13 this week. So as I like to say, whether you like it or not, if you're 13, you are a bat mitzvah. And she likes it, but she likes it so much that she is prepping to do her own service, and it's not tonight, but she's going to help with the Ve'ahavta. Come, step up. And you both lead us in the Ve'ahavta, please, go. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol ma'odecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. And help lead us in the English too, but you're going to have to be a little louder, closer to the mic and stuff. Go, closer to the mic. Closer, closer, mic. Both of you, close. English, you could do this. You shall love your eternal God
with all your heart, with all your mind,
with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children, and speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. Mazel tov to the ladies who turned 13 this week. Woot, woot, woot. Go back. Actually, Cadence, I still need you. You stay closer to the mic. Max had to make the mic so loud that it was making feedback, right? So next we're going to sing about, you can have a seat for a sec, but next we're going to sing about how happy we were to make it across the sea of reeds to freedom.
Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha me'edav hakodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
And while we're enjoying what the Torah looks like, I want to point out that when we read the Song of the Sea, it looks like this in the Torah, which is so cool, because it looks like waves, and it's a song of the sea. I love that. You can tell it's poetry when it does things like that, but there are different kinds of poetic forms, and you'll see more when you look at the Torah. Now we need everybody to please rise, including Cadence, and she's going to help lead us in this part of the service.
Adonai, sifatai tita, uvilai gitehiratecha. Eternal God, open my lips and my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, V'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor Ha'nora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Lefanei Yaakov, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Livnei Geulah, Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshira U'Magid. Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim Avraham v'Eretz Sarah. And we sing, you may be seated, and we skip. And we
we sing a song of peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Ki atahu melech Adon lekol hashalom. Atahu melech Adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. V'tov le'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Tasim La'olam. Tasim La'olam.
Please take a moment for some silent prayers. Fill in the gaps of the things that you need to say. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. And we're taking things a little bit out of our traditional order today. This is the symbol that means that I have to move over to the Torah. This is what it looked like last year, by the way, when we unrolled it all the way from one end all the way to the other end. So I'm going to ask that Cadence come with me to the Torah. I'm going to put this over here. And I'm taking this with me, and we're going to go. You're going to want to take a look at our Torah Scrolls. I need you. Come on. So we have 2 Torah Scrolls open, and I hope you get to take a look at it. As I was pointing out, we have some amazing letters in this. And the blessing for, here, you want to come around to this side? You can see from here. Let's see. This is our first word. This one. You want to take this and use this? Baruch Adonai Havorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Haborach le'olam bo'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bochar bonu mikol ha'amim v'notan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. The translation is on the screen, so you can be reading translation while we're reading the Hebrew. Max, can you see us at all over here? What is? Can you see it better now? We got to find that first word you just found for me. Vayamot sham Moshe eved Adonai be'eretz Moav al pi Adonai vayikbor oto bagai ba'eretz Moav mul bet Peor v'lo yada ish et kvarto ad hayom hazeh u'Moshe ben 120 shana b'moto lo katal eno v'lo nas lacha. ויבכו בני ישראל את משה בערבת מואב 30 יום ויטמעו ימי בכי אבל משה ויהושע בן נון מלא רוח חכמה כי סמך משה את ידיו עליו וישמעו אליו בני ישראל ויעשו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה, אשר ידעו אדוני, look at that letter, פנים אל פנים, לכל האותות והאופתים אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים, לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורא הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל. And before we say the blessing, we turn the page, Max. Is it working? We say, when we finish a book, we say, Chazak, Chazak, Vanit Chazek. We say, be strong, and let us all be strengthened. And then we say the blessing. There's our last word.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emes v'chaye olam natavusochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So we go from our oldest bar mitzvah to our newest bat mitzvah. And she's going to come and say the blessing for this one. And let's see what we did with our thing there. You've got a talit on though, so you can touch and kiss with your talit. Here you go. It's up here, it's right there. Now you do that melody. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And the translation is there for this one too. One more. No, back. Oh, I forgot to do that. We'll skip, Max. Skip. Next page. There. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Va'aretz hayata tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tohom. V'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim Vahior. Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov. Vayavdel Elohim ben haor uven hachoshech. Can you hear the beginning of a baby? I hear it. Vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lachoshech kara laila. Vayhi erev vayhi voker yom echad. Touch and kiss.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet V'chaye olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yay! She did it! Woohoo! She blessed the Torah. She's been called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. All right, Max, I need to go backwards a few because there is something that is nice to do. We don't usually do it here, and that's why. There. It's something that we usually do at a different time in our service, but it's especially powerful to do when the Torah Scrolls are out and being blessed. And that is when we say a blessing of healing. I'm going to come here. I'm going to wave to these people. But if you have someone for whom you would like us to be saying a blessing of healing, I invite you to call out names. For all these names, for the names we choose to hold in our hearts and not say out loud, we say, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. And we add, El na refa na lahem. God, please, heal, please them. El na refa na lahem. God, please, heal, please them. And it has become our tradition to add another Misha Berach on behalf of our military, police, firefighters, EMT, doctors, nurses, and veterans. We say, and you're welcome to say it with me, Misha Berach Avotenu V'imotenu. May the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom, protecting us, or healing us in this country and the land of Israel and everywhere they've been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely. And let us say, Amen. I think that while we're walking back, we're going to be singing a little bit of Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, V'Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, V'Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, V'Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, V'Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, V'Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, V'Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 U'Lechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, U'Lechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu. We could keep singing it forever. I am going to call the president of our sisterhood up next because she has gifts that she would like to give even to Arden. Would you please come up to Arden? Max, this is mic 1. Let's see what we have. Yes, oops, I got it.
Thank you.
And that's good.
I'm going to start with Arden because I met Arden first. Arden, I remember when you came to your consecration and started learning here at B'nai Zion, and it's such a thrill to see you here today. I haven't been at services in person for a long time, and it's really great. This is for you to remember this special day and to acknowledge that you have become a bat mitzvah. If you decide to do more about that, then we'll see you up here again. We'll give you another present.
Thank you.
And Cadence. I remember when you first started coming here with your family, and we met every Friday night here in the social hall because the sanctuary is being remodeled, and so we were in these same chairs week after week, and I remember getting to know you and your family, and how much I appreciated getting to know you and become part of the same B'nai Zion family with you. And this is something for you to remember, this special day and your connection with this community. Congratulations.
Thank you. And you're not finished yet. Come stay here. Oi, are you good? Oh my goodness. No falling. Where'd she go? Oh, she's going up this way? So while she's doing that, then we have a prayer book for you that was actually from the Brotherhood. It has your name on it. You're supposed to bring it with you if you want, practice, read from it, use it. I think I may have told you that one of my favorite presentations ever was during the year that I became bat mitzvah, and when they presented the prayer book to someone, they took it like this and they went so you could hear it like opening, like you could feel the binding cracking open. He says, I don't want this to sit on your shelf. Use it. So I started it for you. So I didn't do it really, but all right, we have. Oops, this goes. This one. Yes.
Cadence.
No, you need to stand by the microphone.
Oops. We'll move over this way.
Move over. Shift. I'll take your gift.
We're here. Anyway, Cadence, it is such a pleasure to have watched you. I mean, literally, your mother brought you and your father brought you as a baby to the congregation, and you've grown. We've grown with you, and maybe we've grown older, but you have also. You know, it's been 13 wonderful years, and I hope lots more. One of the things that Cadence wrote about herself was that she felt very strongly that she believed that you do unto others as you would want to be treated, and that community and humanity are most important in her life. And isn't that the way we've all been raised? And so it's so remarkable that this kind of day can be recognized. So I have for you a certificate of your bat mitzvah from the B'nai Zion congregation, and then another little gift, which we hope you will take advantage of. And it's a $250 gift certificate, hopefully, that you will put toward a trip to Israel. And so, yeah,
That
Mom
was
and
a look.
Dad. And maybe the Federation will help you, who knows. But we wish you well, and I look forward to hearing you tomorrow as well. My best. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Cadence, you could sit down, but the president gets to stand up and tell her things now. Do you want the big one?
Yes,
Here. I wrote it really giant for
that's
you.
a little better.
Yes.
The type's larger, and for some reason, as we get bigger and older, it helps. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov to the families of the Consecration students and the Bat Mitzvah students. On behalf of B'nai Zion, I want to say again how proud we are of all of you and look forward to seeing you and your families again and again and again. We know you are our future, and I believe that means our future is very, very bright. Rabbi Jana has no next Shabbat scheduled this evening on Zoom. It'll begin about 30 minutes after tonight's service ends. Check the website for details if you want to attend. Tomorrow morning we will not, did you hear me not, have Torah study or services at B'nai Zion at all, because we will be joining Cadence and her family to celebrate her becoming a bat mitzvah. She will help lead service and be called to the Torah during the services at Agudath Achim tomorrow morning. That service begins at 10 a.m. and will continue until about noon. If you attend in person, wear a mask and stay appropriately distanced from those not in your family. You can also watch this online by using the link on our website on the Bat Mitzvah event page or Agudath Achim's website. From 10 to 11 on Sunday, come to the backyard at Agudath Achim to experience the religious school's tour of Torah. There will be many activities to do, including getting to walk through posters with details about each Torah portion and cool artwork by Hillel Smith. The consecration students will be honored and blessed as well there. There will be a Torah that you can get close to and ask Rabbi Jana details about Torah Scrolls. You can snack in the Sukkah. hear stories, and more. At 11:30 this Sunday, we are taking down the indoor sukkah. You are welcome to join us in doing so. Remember that we are still collecting food and donations for the food bank backpacks for children's programs, and we are still collecting books for children or adults. Our ongoing projects include collecting toiletries for the women's shelter. There are bins in the foyer where you can drop them off when you come to services during the week. Depending on your tradition, as Rabbi mentioned earlier, Sukkah ends Tuesday night or Wednesday night. You are very welcome to come and fulfill the mitzvah to eat inside the Sukkah. If you want to, you can also shake the lulav. Contact Rabbi to make sure you have access to the lulav and etrog, and have her join you if you want to for the shaking or for a meal. I'm glad to say that a number of people, including myself, have already eaten in the sukkah. We are having wonderful weather, and we should be very thankful for that, and it is a great way to eat outdoors where it is safer to not wear a mask. The end of our holy days will be marked with a service at 10 a.m. Tuesday as we commemorate the last day of Sukkah, Shemini Atzeretz, and Simchat Torah. The service will include Yizkor. We plan to meet in person and on Zoom. If you're attending in person, come into the handicapped entrance, wear a mask, and stay appropriately distanced. Please remember the office will be closed on Tuesday, September 28th, in observance of the Jewish holiday. Next Friday, October 1st, Rabbi will have an online-only service. You can watch it on YouTube. We will not be in person at all next Friday. We will not have a Zoom on next Shabbat either. We will also not have Zoom or in-person events the following Saturday. Anyone with birthdays or anniversaries in October, please join us the following week, October 8th, for Simcha Shabbat. We are almost at the end of our great and exhausting month. Looking forward to continuing to celebrate with you in person or online. The flowers tonight are offered with love and pride from the B'nai Sisterhood in honor of the holy days, the consecration students, and the bat mitzvah students. Stay safe, and please talk to your friends, colleagues, and family members who may not have been vaccinated and encourage them to do so. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. I think I said the announcements are longer than the service tonight. But we also said that we were having a kind of a beginning of a Yizkor service. So as we begin to remember, whenever we're at holidays or simchas, we're often remembering. To lose one life is as if we've lost an entire world. May we not lose sight of the enormity of the loss of so many individual lives. We honor the memories of those who died this year in the military, police, firefighters, healthcare. We had supermarkets and restaurants. We honor the memories of those who died in floods and fires and those who died of COVID-19. We remember those who died this past month. Family friend Harold Hoffmeister. We remember parents who died in the last 11 months. We remember Joseph Paris, Artis Robison, George Rothkopf, Henry Brenner, Ron Riley, Fred Phillips. The yortzites from B'nai Zion that occurred this past week included Kathleen Boyd, Elizabeth L. Fox, Harriet Gruber Goldberg, Frida Horn, Mosa Kaufman, Sam S. Kleban, Edith K. Levy, Herman Loeb, Betty Ann Mannheim, Joseph Marcus, Francis Matloff, Theo Meyer, who was a veteran, which is why there's an asterisk next to his name, Hyman Neerman, Houston Oglethorpe, Milton Robinson, Esther Rosenberg, Clara Levine Rosenzweig, Tilly Schenker, Mandel Wiseman, and Betty Eichenbaum Wiener. The Yizkor service that we will do is just a time for you to remember. Just remember those that you have lost, not just this past year, not just this past week, anniversaries of that. Take a moment and remember. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'a gala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and on all Israel, to which we say amen. So you may sit down for a moment and sing our closing song, which is this one, but I want to let you know that before you leave, I hope you get a chance to shake a lulav if you'd like. Please look at the Torah. I'll go stand by the Torah and answer questions about the Torah here also. But there are snacks that you take and go, thanks to Cadence and her family. And I have, as always, some Torah, some Tutsi Torahs and some Smarty Torahs that you can take on your way out. And I want to say, so Cadence, this has been the most unusual year ever in my life, and I'm way older than you. And it has been hard. We haven't been able to do the kind of practicing that most people get to do. She has never stood in this here and been able to practice and read for you or know what the choreography was going to be, where we were standing when, because I didn't know until it happened when we were going to be moving around and everything. And as you have always done, you take it in stride and you make things work. In some ways, I'm going to say, I would like to say that when I grow up, I want to be like you. But in some ways, you remind me of me. We're the oldest sisters, always taking care of stuff and making things work no matter what happens. So I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And the family, Mazel Tov, an awesome job. Arden, thank you for participating. Mazel Tov on turning 13. To the consecration kids, I am so proud of you. I have a secret about consecration. It's one of my favorite things to do for religious school and one of my favorite services ever. Some people, at B'nai Zion, the tradition is you do it when you're in kindergarten and you're about 5 years old. When I grew up, whenever you were starting religious school, that's when you would do consecration. So if you were 3 years old, you would start it at 3. And here they felt like, 3 is kind of too young to know what's going on. But I remembered from my siblings when they turned 3 and they got to start, and I remembered how important it was. But when I was 14, we changed congregations. And so everybody who was starting religious school at that congregation got to do consecration. I got to do it again. I love it. It's just all joy and all wonderful. So I don't know, we should start a tradition like that. That's why I was very glad that we're also doing something on Sunday so that we can continue this celebration when we go through that Torah thing. Let us sing It Is a Tree of Life and continue to celebrate the Torah Scrolls.
It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
One more time, it is a tree of life.
It is a tree of life to them who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy.
We want to clap again.
Shalom, 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 shalom.
It is a tree of life. Please rise for the closing benediction. Help me bless everybody. Point to them. Pick somebody. Pick everybody. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face always be lifted up to you. There's a lot that God looks up to you about. And may God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Be safe, walk around, say hi to people, stay distanced. It was wonderful. I'm very proud. Now, at 7:30, you could do some of this for Cadence. She's going to do a Devar Torah at services at Agudath Achim tonight. And more tomorrow. Yay!